Welcome back to round one, where we play just the beginning of a game to give you a taste of what it's like. And today, like many round ones, we're probably going to play more than one round.
Yeah, especially because we're here with two players. It's just myself and David today playing this game.
This game is ANASTYR. This is the latest game from Mythic. Yeah. It is in crowdfunding right now. And the best way to explain this game, this is not the official way. This is our unofficial way, but other people have said this, so I'll say it as well. It's like playing Golden Axe, the old arcade game, but on the tabletop.
It definitely has that beat 'em up, that fantasy beat 'em up feel. I mean, those games were very popular in the old 8 and 16-bit generations, where you literally are side-scrolling. We have a board here, and you're moving from left to right across the... Well, yeah, you're seeing it upside down.
You're left to right.
You're left to right. We're moving across the board and actually moving from tile to tile. And as we move, we're actually going to be scrolling the board, which is an interesting mechanic. Hopefully you get to see some of that maybe in the rounds that we play today. But your objectives are generally based on some amount of scrolling or some amount of moving across the board. Granted, there are scenarios, there are objectives that you'll be playing through. So every one of these games is different. We're playing a very basic scenario, though.
Yeah, we're playing a basic scenario, and it has 3 parts. In fact, I can show you right here. It's the Jade Sea, and there's these 3 quest cards. I probably shouldn't be looking at the second and third, but the first one is going to be something that once you complete a certain thing, a primary objective, and we'll tell you what these are in a second, you flip it over, and it progresses sort of the storyline in terms of letting you know what's next. And then this adventure is comprised of all 3 of these. Once you're done with this one, it takes you right into this and right into the third one. There are going to be boss fights. We don't have a boss fight incorporated into any of this adventure that we're doing today, but we're hopefully going to survive through at least the first quest.
I mean, hopefully we survive through the first couple rounds.
Yeah, and we are going to play the first couple rounds. And a round is going to be dictated by going through this initiative order down here, which we've already set up. You're going to place these out. There's a card in the initiative order for each player character, as well as each sort of set of enemies. We've got level 1s that are going to activate down at the end, but the level 2s are going to activate here. Those cards correlate to these enemies for the scenario that are over there. There are level 1s, and there's usually a specialist and a minion, and level 2s that also have a specialist and a minion. Then the only other card you see here is sort of this environmental or scenario card. This says Jade Sea. Whenever we get to that, we're going to actually trigger an environmental or an event sort of thing. And that's going to change up the game a little bit. It might put some more creatures out on the board. By the way, we didn't mention this. There are creatures. Now, in the later scenarios, there's probably creatures you have to fight. I'm sure of it.
I'm sure.
But these creatures are actually things that you can tame. And when you go out there and tame them, and this is maybe one of the coolest things I've seen in a miniatures game lately, you actually replace your miniature with a mounted version on the mount. That is pretty cool. With a magnet, by the way. They just kind of snap together.
Definitely sells that feeling, that arcade feeling of grabbing the upgraded weapons or getting on the mountain.
And then just moving through.
Running through everything.
And speaking of that arcade feel, too, we've demoed this game just a little bit, and I can confirm there are some challenges ahead. There are some sticky situations that we're going to get ourselves into. Before you know it, you're going to be in one space filled with enemies. But on the flip side of that, it gives you a lot of that same satisfaction of just doing massive attacks and destroying a bunch of enemies all at once, because you're not really targeting each individual miniature. You're attacking a space and distributing all the damage throughout.
Yeah, and you'll see how it unfolds as we play, but you do get to set up what's called combos, which also lends to that feeling, which once you set up a combo, you can use it kind of as a free action, and so you could be chaining together multiple big attacks per turn, and just laying out tons of damage once you get set up. So the game is kind of about positioning and also about managing these cards in your hand.
Yeah, and also really just trying to contemplate what the enemies are going to do based on their cards and based how they're going to sort of activate. Because we can see all of their movement and all their statistics, and we have ours, and that's kind of like the push and pull of this. When they attack, they're not rolling dice against us. We're rolling our defense against them. So we're the ones that are always going to be rolling the dice. And you're going to see these adventure dice, which are going to be rolled for most things in this game, but then also this yellow die, which is a fury die. And we'll talk about our characters really quickly, and then we'll just jump in. But the fury die correlates to this fury track on the right-hand side of the player board. Throughout the game, you're going to be able to raise your fury, not only with this die, but other things that you do. And eventually, when you're at the top, you're able to flip over your Fury card, and then it's active and something that you can use as a free action as well on your turn. On the other side is our health, of course. And then across the bottom, like Ryan mentioned, there are 3 slots to sort of prepare combos. One of the things we can do is slide cards underneath there, and those will be relative to these 3 different combos that we each have, which are different from one another for sure. And then, of course, our base stats, including our movement and our size on the board. And then we each have a special ability. In this case, I'm playing Pyra, and my special ability is that all of my attacks, no matter what kind of attack it says on a card or anything, gains range of 1. Otherwise, you are doing melee combat. So I can attack from 1 space away.
Yep.
What's your special ability?
So I'm Conrad. My special ability is if I'm not engaged after my movement, I can move 1 extra space to get engaged with somebody. Conrad is the warrior. He's the melee fighter here. So he wants to be engaged with people and hacking and slashing them. So I will always kind of get a little bit of a boost to my movement if it means getting to somebody to fight them.
He wants to get in the fight.
He's in a rush to get in the fight, for sure.
Now, we are playing a 2-player game like we mentioned, so one difference there is that we're each going to get 3 actions per turn. Usually it's 2 in a 3- and 4-player game. Also, and this isn't necessarily just because we're playing 2-player, but we have a 3rd character here on this little board. If one of us were to die, God forbid, I don't think it's going to happen, but it might, probably will. We're able to replace our character with this other character sort of in standby. We have their player board off to the side here. We'll simply do that without skipping a beat. But if we then lose a character and they die, it's a game over.
Basically, we get 1 extra life. And
that's effectively 1 extra life, and it's a different life than one of the ones we're using. That's only just one of the ways you can lose. We can also lose if we run out of those event cards that are going to happen throughout the game whenever it hits there. If we get to the beginning or the end of the spawn phase at the end of a round and there are no more of those, we will also lose. And there's just like maybe 6 or 7 of those in there at tops.
Yeah, so we don't get a ton of time. You got to be efficient with your time, that's for sure.
So we're going to jump right into it. We'll explain all the actions that we're taking, and we might pepper the video with some of the actions that we're not taking, but we don't want to describe all of that because it would take
there
quite a
are
while.
8 actions you can take. We'll probably take most of those actions, honestly.
Yeah, we probably will. There are some that are a little bit more meaty than others, if you will. But one of the rules that we have to remember to follow, Ryan, is that we can't take any one of those actions twice during our activation. So we have 3 actions, but they each have to be a different type of action, which kind of keeps you on your toes a little bit.
Well, so let's jump in. The way we set it up, Conrad is first.
Yeah, normally in future rounds, we're going to do the preparation. We've already done that a little bit. The preparation phase is where you're going to draw up cards. In later rounds, if you have cards, you can discard as many as you want and draw up. That'll be important. And then we go to the initiative phase, where we're going to look at this and survey whether or not it needs to change or not. Right now, this is the initiative order, and that will stay the case unless we encounter a card somewhere that flips this token into chaos. In that case, during the initiative phase, we're going to take all those cards, shuffle them up, and redistribute them. And then finally, the last thing in the initiative phase is if someone has the leader token, this is a pretty cool mechanic, I think. If you have the leader token, during the initiative phase, you're allowed to move your card with any one other card to swap them so that you can kind of adjust that. But then you have to give up the leader token.
Yeah. Which would be
so anyway, then we are set for the activation phase, which is sort of the meat and potatoes of the game. So we go right there in order, and Conrad, it is on you.
So I thought about what I wanted to do with my first turn, and we were able to actually set our miniatures out as long as they were in that farthest row. That's kind of our starting row. I like this idea of getting on that mount.
Of course, it's staring you right in the face. Well, I mean,
they put
now it is.
They put it there as a carrot to, they know you want to get over there and get that mount. So I'm going to try to do that. So first of all, I have to get there. I'm going to use my maneuver. I think I'm going to use my maneuver. Yeah, because I don't have any card in my hand that lets me move that many spaces.
And a general maneuver is to move and attack in this game. But since he's not able to attack, he's able to just move. And you can do those in any order. So you move 2 spaces. That's one of your actions.
Yeah, I could have attacked, but I'm not going to attack the mount. There's no enemies in that space to attack. Now, I want to use another action. This is another of the 8 actions called Tame. And there's 2 ways I can choose to do this. I can either roll some dice and hope that I hit the right successes, which I'm not going to do because you know how I feel about dice.
It's risky.
I don't like the risk. When I can play a red card from my hand and just immediately basically pay the cost to tame it.
And that's specifically for this Hayati, which is what this beast is. This creature here requires the red or success of 3. And you'd have only been rolling 2 dice to get the 3 anyway.
I know,
so.
That's why I wasn't going to risk it.
So do you have a red card is the question.
I do. I actually have 2 red cards.
Oh.
I'm trying to decide which one to discard here. I think I'm going to discard this leap 2 card. I don't want to leap right now. So I'm actually going to discard that out as a red. It's out of my hand. It pays the cost to get on the mount.
Now here's the cool part. So now he's on the mount. Here's your mount card. You'll flip this over.
Yep. And I get a new free action, which is attack 3 with this mount, which is really cool.
Which is a free action. So now he's able to do a maneuver on his turn and attack, and then use that to potentially attack again. I'm now going to take his miniature off the board, temporarily put it over here, hopefully not temporarily, and then take his mounted version and...
There you go. Look, I love that. It's very satisfying.
It is super satisfying.
So now I am mounted and ready to go, but I cannot maneuver
No,
again.
That's the tricky thing. So he's maneuvered and he's tamed. That's just 2 of the 8 possible actions.
So I'm going to use a technique. That's one of the 3 cards we have. These are the technique cards. I'm going to use one of these 2. I can ranged attack for 4, or I can actually move and then attack for 3 with my mount.
Oh, that's true.
I think I'm going to do the move. So
that's just a movement of 1?
It's a movement of 1.
Now, movement in this game, too, is kind of interesting. Yeah. You can move up to your movement speed, and it's mostly orthogonal, but one sort of fringe rule is there during your movement, you can make 1 diagonal
and
move.
I'm going to.
Oh, really?
I'm actually going to move diagonal here because after I move, if I'm not engaged, I can move 1 more space.
Nice.
To get engaged with somebody. So I'm going to move 1 more space and get into the thick of it. This isn't great. That means all of these guys are going to come on me. But
when they activate.
But that's kind of what I want. I want to lure them into me because when we talk about your character, you'll have a better chance of maybe picking them off.
Not to mention, and while we're talking about luring them in, there's a maximum of 6 figures that can be in one space. And that includes him now as a mounted counts as 2, and then any one other figure. And that includes some of the other things that you'll find in here, things that have bases like treasure and whatnot.
And then I get to roll the, I wanted to call it focus die, but it's actually for
the fury die.
Fury. You can roll it with focus, which is another action. Oh, I rolled 1, so I get 1 there. But what's cool is this card also gives me 1. So I get 1 for playing the card as well. So I actually got 2 out of that.
Yeah, and then...
It could have been much better than that, but...
The extra cool thing about this is he could discard this if he wanted to.
I could.
Or, and you probably will... Oh, no, is it a red card?
It's a... Great. Well, can I put it in any slot, or does that
no,
have to go
it has
my
to be in the leftmost slot.
Oh, so I can't trigger any of these combos, actually.
So to set up a combo, you can actually just prepare it and just slide it under there. Or you can use the technique card like he just did. And then if it's the right one, you can slide it under there. So he's looking to start his combo with a red, and that was a green card, unfortunately.
But that was a good first turn, and I can set up my combo next turn.
And did you resolve the attack?
Oh, I didn't. No, not yet. So that's actually that's after all that.
Yes.
So normally I'm actually out of actions right now because I moved, I tamed, and I techniqued. But the mount action is a free action, and his free action is to attack for 3. So I get to roll 3 of these dice. So I roll 3. So that's 2 hits.
And 2's enough because these guys only need 1, and they have a shield of 1.
They do have a shield of 1.
Yep, so and they're only 1 hit point, so that one is off the board.
Unfortunately, you don't get any treasure or loot for fighting
minions.
Those guys.
No, the minions don't give you anything. The specialists will, and we have 1 specialist on the board right now. He's kind of the foreman of all of these trackers.
So that's it for me. So now we move on
to the next one. So I'll move that, and we are triggering the level 2s.
Which one of the level 2s...
It's not even on the board.
We were told to set it aside. I'm assuming they're going to make an appearance, but they haven't started on the board yet.
Probably.
So it's just these slaughterers.
Yeah,
which
the
are
slaughterers.
These big guys.
These guys right here. And we're going to trigger these from left to right, top to bottom. So we're going to trigger this guy first.
And he's going to move 2 spaces.
They're going to move and attack.
So he's definitely coming into my space.
Yeah, and he's moving towards whoever the hero is that is closest to them. And if it's a tie, he's going to move towards the one that had the leader token. And of course, no one has the leader token. And then finally, the last tiebreaker there is he's going to move to whoever's going to activate next. So if I were up there, equidistant to this person, it would have actually moved towards me. But I
blocked it for you.
I'm still way back
He's
here.
going to attack me. He has...
that guy moves in too. They all move.
True. So he's going to move. He's going to go 1, 2 to come in as well. And they're both going to attack. So that's 6 dice total?
Yeah, so they have attack. Well, no, the way you do it is if it's a group of them, one of them is 3, and then you get an additional 1 for every other of that same type. So he's rolling, his attack is 4, and then you're rolling your defense of 3 against it.
So you roll the attack, I'll roll the defense.
There is no roll of attack.
Oh, you're right. There is no roll of attack.
His attack is 4.
So I rolled. So I'm not gonna block all of it. I can tell you that now.
Well, you might.
And that's something I like about this game. And I knew it, and I don't even know what I was thinking. But I like that you're the only one that rolls. You never have to roll for the enemies for any situation.
And before you roll, I want to point out something about the Slaughterer.
Yes, that they can only be damaged on a 1.
Yeah, but I think that's just one way. So each of the enemies have an interesting thing. Yes, if you're the one attacking a Slaughter, you ignore the 2s, but
I'm not attacking.
On a defense,
I will be soon.
You can.
So I just defended 3
of the 4, so you'll take a hit. Now, Ryan could use his reroll token, but I don't know that I would.
I'll find just taking 1 damage. That's fine.
We each have a reroll token that we can use, worse. And when you use it, you have to reroll all of the dice that were rolled, which would probably have been a risk in this case. Mm-hmm. And then that's flipped over. One of the other actions you can use on your turn is to focus, and focusing either lets you roll the Fury die or just flip this reroll token back over. So that's the level 2s.
There's only 2 on the board.
Done. And then we're going to move on to the Jade Sea.
You want one of these?
Yeah, let's take a look at that.
Let's see what we got.
Jade Sea. Cold Fury. All heroes in or adjacent to a mass grave, which is this space right here, gain 1 Fury. So no one is next to a mass grave, so none of that. And then it's going to show how any wild creatures move, or the Sylphy.
Which we don't have any on the board.
We don't have any of those because he's tamed this one. So otherwise, they would all move 1 space to the west. So these cards kind of do eventful things, but then also affect the wildlife that are out there. Yeah. So that was
not so bad.
It's certainly manageable. I wish one of us had been near a mass grave. All right, it's Pyra's turn.
What is Pyra's the rogue?
Pyra's the rogue. She has range. So I think I'm going to... And the other thing is, to scroll, we have to get all combatants off of here.
We only have 3 left.
We only have 3 left, but I need to target 1 space.
Yeah.
So I can't use attacks against multiple spaces. So this is a little tricky. I might be able to take one of them out. I'm going to move up here.
2 spaces?
1.
So you're maneuvering.
I'm maneuvering. 1, and I'm actually, even though I have range, I'm actually going to enter this
space.
You're
going to go right into his space.
I'm going to do that for a couple reasons. When you enter a mass grave, it's the mass grave of your fellow fallen warriors. So it enrages you.
Yeah.
And I get fury when I enter that. And
I want to feed on that anger.
Exactly. I want to get that fury up. So that was one of my actions, and that's going to end in an attack. So I have an attack of 3 against that guy. So I'm rolling.
1 armor.
He has 1 armor. And that's plenty.
You got it.
That's plenty.
These guys are chumps.
They are. The game, like I said, has some challenges, but there are some pretty spongy enemies in this. Or not spongy, but squishy.
Well, that's why there's so many of them.
So you can really have the satisfaction of knocking them around.
Yep.
I think the other thing I'll do... So I have a card here I'm going to play for my technique. It's called Push. So it has movement of 1.
Yep.
And then push a nearby enemy. So I'm going to move 1.
Oh, nice.
And then I'm going to push this enemy.
Yeah.
There. So we've actually gotten pretty close.
We have.
To scrolling.
We got 2 people.
Had we been able to take this guy off, we'd be very, very close.
Well, he's going to come off.
So I use that technique, and afterwards, I could slot it down here. but I'm not going to. But either way, I get this Fury that's on there.
That's a good one for that.
So I'm going to discard this over here. And that is my turn. So now we move on to the level 1s, Ryan.
Yeah, there's a lot of them.
There is a lot of them.
They're going to move, but only 6 people can be in a space.
Yes,
so
only
that
6
space
space.
is only full, almost full.
And if you look at the card there, the specialist is first, left to right. So we're going to activate the specialist first. The specialist has movement of?
He has movement
of 1?
Of none.
Down there?
1, I'm sorry.
Yeah, he has movement of 1, so
like
he's going to move.
So
Ryan's
move
closest.
1 space.
So he's going to move 1 space.
But
he does have range.
Yep.
So he's also going to attack.
So he has 4 attack. While he's on the board, spawn. We haven't gotten to the spawn
during the
phase.
spawn, he brings another guy in.
He brings a tracker in. So he's just going to attack me for 4, right?
Yep. So you need to roll your defense of 3. Now, remember, if you have a card that has an extra defense, you can play it. No, you do not.
I do not. So whatever. I can heal up next round. Oh, I took 3. Maybe this is the time to use the reroll.
It feels like the reroll time.
Can I reroll all 3, or can I choose?
No, you have to roll all of them.
Well,
that was solid.
Way better. So I took 1. That was way better. All right. So that was the specialist. Now these guys are going to go from left to right.
Yeah.
That's
so
him.
Starting with this guy,
so he's going to go 2 to get in there.
Yeah, his movement is 3 or 2?
His movement is 3, but he's going to come to the closest person.
Yep. So now you've got a total of 5 in there. So you got room for 1 more.
Yeah, but it's going to be this guy, unfortunately.
And he's going to move in there too.
Which means this guy's going to come right back to you.
Yep.
And this guy is not going to...
He didn't like me shoving him around.
This guy can't get to anybody, so he's going to try to get to you. 1, and he can move 1 diagonal, right?
No, he's closest to you.
So he'll just stop here?
Yeah, and he can actually contribute to the fight.
Oh,
there's kind of
adjacent, right?
a fringe rule, whereas if something has the opportunity to have gotten to a space, they are able to contribute to the fight as if they were there.
Well, this guy, this is the farthest he could have gotten.
So yeah, so now they're going to attack.
Their attack is just 1, so...
It's...
Space 1. Base 1 attack.
Yeah, base 1 attack. So it's 1,
never moved
2,
that.
3, 4.
So another 4.
So you've got 4 coming in and a defense of 3.
3.
3. So you're taking another.
Hey, I feel like that's okay. I can heal up. I could use the heal action next round.
And Ryan rolled one of these symbols. You probably didn't see it on camera. It's the grapple. This is only going to come into effect when we're rolling them in our attacks. And if you roll one of those, you can literally pick a guy up and hold him until your next turn, and then you can throw him.
And you can throw him against obstacles, too.
You can throw him against obstacles. Cool. You can throw him into spaces with other people and stun them and knock him. I'm looking forward to that. And it's actually sometimes more beneficial to grab them than it is to maybe just eliminate them.
All right, so we're at the end of the phase.
No, this guy hasn't attacked me.
Oh, you're right. He hasn't attacked you, but he only attacks you for 1.
Yeah, he only attacks me for 1, and I'm rolling
2
defense. That's probably pointless to...
They got it.
Yep, I'm good.
Now we're at the end of the phase.
We are now at the end of the phase. So now we move on to the spawn phase of the game. So we take the spawn card off the top of the deck. Ryan, can you do the honors?
Yep.
And then we flip that over to see a few different things. And these spawn cards are going to do a number of different things. One thing it always does, and this card does it, is it's going to spawn more enemies on the board. Now, oftentimes they're going to spawn on the easternmost side of the board, but I can tell you sometimes they will spawn back here, which, as you can tell, if we're trying to scroll the board and clear this, that could be problematic.
Yeah.
But otherwise, there's going to be some stuff in here that might happen. It might spawn more creatures out onto the board. A number of different things can happen. But on this one, there's not much going on. On the eastmost side of the board, from top to bottom, we're going to get
a lot of people.
1 more level 2 minion.
Oh, nice. The Slaughterer.
And then in the next space down, 2 level 1 minions.
That's these trackers.
And then 2 more level 1 minions.
2 more trackers. All right.
And then 2 more level 1 minions. And we only have 1, so we just get 1. So that's the cool thing. Usually any of those rules that you come across like that and you go, what do? They're usually in your favor a little bit.
Yeah, this one is. Because we should have actually summoned 1 more tracker from the guy summoning a tracker every round, but...
Oh, that's true. He would come onto since he's still on the board.
Yep.
So we'll discard that, and then we go to the, once you've resolved all the things that card might have, you go on to the end of round phase, which is where you're basically going to be checking for whether or not you've lost the game or not. We are still alive and kicking, so we're going to move right back
so
to the
back to the top, and we'll draw back up to 3
top
cards.
of the order.
Which you could discard this card. If
yeah, and you might want to do that.
don't.
I have 2 cards. Did you have a red?
I do.
That's good.
But well, you'll see why it's not great.
I'm just going to draw as well, so I'm not going to discard any. That's the preparation. Now we go to the initiative. Chaos didn't happen, so we're not going to change any of this. No one got the leader token. So now it's going to be back to Conrad.
So since I'm on a mount, I have to do that check again to even maintain my mount.
It's a wild creature, after all.
So I don't...
you can either discard another red. You want to get a combo going, don't you?
I do, but I don't think I'm going to get a combo. So I think I just have to discard the red to keep him. Because I really want that free attack.
Yeah, getting the mount's nice, but it's not just simple, easy peasy to keep it.
No, it's not.
And that doesn't count as an action, by the way. That's just something that you have to do before you take your action.
I'm going to get 2 attacks out of this. I'm going to attack my space here. So I'm going to do my attack first, which is going to be 4 dice.
And this is effectively his maneuver for the turn.
This is, and I can attack and move in any order.
Yes, you can.
So 4, right? And that's against everybody in the space.
Yeah, do you want to use a card to boost it?
I don't have one to boost
you don't have an attack?
That would be great.
That is...
I would have loved to. No, I'm just going to roll all 4. Oof.
Oh, that's not great. And you don't have a reroll.
I don't have a reroll.
So the thing is, in this game, when you attack, you're attacking the space. So you don't have to say, I'm attacking this miniature or this miniature. So you do have these 2 damage to apply. And you could apply it to the 2 trackers.
Or I could get rid of a slaughterer.
That too.
I think I'm going to get rid of the slaughterer. Feels a little better right now. Feels a little safer to do that.
Get rid of 1 slot. That's 1 action down.
That's only 1 action, though, so I still have some other actions. And I could, as part of my maneuver, I could move.
Yeah, but don't you think you want to...
I don't want to, actually. I want to stay here and attack again, which, again, normally I can't do, but my mount gives me a free 3 attack action, so I'm going to try to use that.
If I were close, I would try to reinforce, but I'm not close enough.
Let's see if this is better.
It
2
is
again.
About the same.
This time I think it's actually better to take out the 2 trackers. Now I'm just down to 1-on-1, mano-y-mano, except I might bolt.
Now, it's interesting. If you do bolt, you can go backwards, but I don't know that we want to get people back on here. But if you go forward, you're going to have a lot of people collecting around you.
I've only used 1 technique. Or I've only used 1 action because the mount attack was free.
You have 2 more.
I have 2 more. I'm actually going to use 1 to heal.
No, not bad.
So I've got where you look at how much damage you've taken, and you might not be able to see them very well if you.
I'll put a board up if we have one.
Because there's a little bit, there's pips next to each number, and the more wounded you get, the more dice you get to roll to heal. So at 5, I get to roll 2 dice to heal.
And you get success. Every success gets health back.
Yeah.
That's no successes.
That's no successes. My heal did not work.
That's rough.
And then since I do kind of want to stay where I am, I'm going to use my last action to focus. I can either get my reroll back, or I could try to build up my focus bar.
Oh, your Fury?
Our Fury bar, yeah, with this focus action.
I got to tell you, based on what you've done thus far, I might get the reroll token back.
But I could get up to 3 Fury.
Yeah, but if you roll that and you get... is there a none?
There's not a none.
Okay, so he's at least getting 1.
Let's see what happens.
2. He split the difference.
All right, I'm up to 4. And that was all 3 of my actions.
And those are your actions done. So now we're going to move again to the level 2s, starting with the Specialist, which is still off the board, and then moving on to the Minions, which is just this and this.
Yeah, and he's going to move 2, so he cannot reach me.
Yeah, he's not going to move because he's already here. He's moving to 1,
cannot reach.
2, and that's it.
That's it,
but he is... Oh, no, it's this guy that has to be 1 away to attack.
Yeah.
Nice.
So he's just doing, but he's still doing 3 attack to me.
Yep, and what's your defense?
3.
You're rolling, okay.
So I take 1 again. I rolled 2 successes.
The good news is, I mean, the
Taking
bad
one
news
every
is you're
attack.
losing hit points.
Yeah, that's very
The
bad.
good news, the next time he tries to heal, he'll get to be able to roll maybe more dice if he loses
We'll
another.
see what happens.
So that's those guys. Oh, we didn't move this along.
Yeah.
Now back to the Jade Sea. This says...
Everyone heals.
Fatigue. That can't be good.
Oh, no.
All heroes lose 1 fury.
Oof.
That's rough.
That is rough.
And then if there were beasts or Selfie on the board, they would move to the west, which there aren't.
So, all right. Well, can you scroll the board for us, David?
I think I can. I mean, it all just depends on this. Yeah, so I am going to first maneuver, and I'm going to start with my attack. So I'm attacking for 3 against that guy.
Oh, yeah.
Why can't you roll like this,
I
Ryan?
wish I never can roll like that.
I just rolled a 4.
I've never in my life rolled that well.
So he is off the board, and now I can maneuver,
Yeah.
which is going to, and I can move up to 2.
You might as well join. Come on, join me.
I think I am going to go 1. Ooh, but I don't.
No, I wouldn't go too far forward if I was you.
I don't want to go.
You don't want to attract a ton of attention.
Yeah, we're equidistant.
Though all these trackers can only move. Oh no, they move 3.
Yeah, they move a lot. So we're going to be surrounded here in a second. I'll move right here because that makes us mostly equidistant from all of them.
Well, you could come into my space, couldn't you?
I could do that, but then we're just going to be surrounded on all sides anyway.
So actually, immediately after you move off of this board, this is when we'll scroll it. So we actually get to do that. Take everything off of it. Of course, there couldn't be any people on it because you wouldn't get to scroll.
This is kind of cool and very much like the arcade.
Slide down, and now we're at the end, back to the start.
So this actually flips over in this scenario.
Nice.
And there's a little north arrow here so that you can set it up well.
Well, there we go. Now we got a whole nother area to explore. Yeah, set it up.
And it's not just as simple as that, but now we're back here moving into this village.
Yes, but we also, that was our first objective. So we just completed our objective.
That was. We have completed the ambush quest. Because the primary objective, if you'll remember, is to head east and scroll the board. After the board is scrolled, immediately flip this card.
All right.
Jade Sea. Approaching the tents, you soon see what the Kizhuls have lived up to their reputation. The camp has been devastated. Mutilated bodies. This is grim, Ryan.
This seems pretty grim.
Mutilated bodies bear the signs of savage violence, and some appear to have been tortured.
Oh, no.
As you survey the carnage, you hear the distant howls of a pack of Hayatis running in your direction. Maybe maybe they're not tameable ones. Maybe those will
we'll
attack.
see what
Who
happens.
knows? So then it's going to tell us to do a bunch of things. We're going to place a couple interaction tokens, those little star tokens, in each of these spaces here. This one
right here.
and
that,
right those yurts.
Oh, the yurts. Yeah, that makes sense.
Add the following spawn card on top of the spawn deck. It's M01.
And that must be this one that we had
if
sitting.
you're playing with 2 and 3 heroes.
Yep, this is MO1, so it's going to go right on top of the deck. Okay.
Then, oh boy, put the Flayer enemy card
I wonder
into
what he was
play.
doing over here. So this is the Flayer. He attacks all nearby heroes.
Oh, nearby is in their
and
space.
he's a level 3. Well, I'm going to put him off to the side a little bit. Do we have a mini for him?
We do have a mini. We'll get that
we're
in
going to get
a
that mini
second.
out. All right, what else do we have?
Then we're going to free up space in the activation queue
Oh, okay.
for his minion or his activation
Oh,
card.
this is his. He's a level 3.
Yeah.
Oh, so he's going to go immediately this. Well,
He will go this round.
if he spawns, does he spawn immediately?
Yes.
Yes. Does he?
Yeah, put the Flare enemy card into play. Move the spawn tile eastward. Oh, maybe not. Maybe he'll
he
come
doesn't spawn
on. He'll
yet.
come in the end. Maybe. Spawn a level 1 specialist, which we don't have any off the board right now.
He's still alive.
So that's okay. If it is already in play, which he is, it gains an attack bonus token and a defense bonus token. So these
Man.
bonus tokens can go both ways. We can get them sometimes through game effects. The enemies can. So those are one-time effects. When they were to attack, he'll have a +1, and then that goes away. Same thing with a defense.
So his defense is now 4. His attack is 5.
Oof.
And he can attack one space away. I might die.
It's
here.
not in. It's getting dicey. And then finally, replace this quest card with quest card 2, a ghastly sight. So I'll really quickly read this, but this is sort of the next step. A ghastly sight. Despite being sickened by the atrocities committed by the Kizhools, you need answers and methodically scour the area in search of survivors.
What's our objective here?
Our primary objective: search the yurts.
Oh, so that's those points.
When a hero interacts with one of those spaces containing those tokens, place this token on one of the empty objective slots below. When both spaces contain those things, we can flip this card.
Well, we are a very long way away from there.
Yeah, it's going to get gnarly because we have to get through these guys. By the time we even get up here, there's going to be more guys.
Oh, boy. So you had only taken one action at this point.
I had only taken one action. So now we will resume my turn in progress. So I've already maneuvered.
Yep.
And that's all I've done.
That's all you've done is your maneuver.
So I've got 2 more actions, but oof.
Tell me you got something that can attack some stuff. If you can get rid of some of those trackers, I mean, they're going to be...
I think I can. Yeah, so I'm going to play this card, the Leap Attack.
No, the one I got rid of, I had one similar to that. I got rid of it.
This is a Leap 2. I'm able to leap in a straight line up to 2 spaces. And I'm just going to move 1.
Up to 2.
I'm going to move 1 into this space. And then it lets me do an attack.
You want to be in their space? You don't want to jump past them? Or you think that you'll attract too much attention?
Yeah, I don't want to get too close to all those guys because they will all be on top of me then. So I'm going to resolve an attack here. My attack, again, is 3.
Unless you could boost it.
Oh.
I think it's worth it. Though that guy has 4 on his own.
No, you know what? I've got other plans. Oh, no, I can't.
Yeah, you can only play 1 technique card a turn.
Oh, no. I'm able to do it.
Oh,
I've got a plan. I've got a plan.
Okay.
Watch this. So, anyway, I'm rolling my attack die right now. 2 and a grapple.
Grapple the big dude?
You can't grapple a specialist. It's just a minion.
Well,
so I will grapple.
But the minions are dead. You're going to kill both minions. Unless you use your reroll.
And he's how many hit points?
He's 4.
Oh, yeah, okay. So no grappling, but I'm taking out these minions.
That helps. That definitely helps.
And then I will actually, since I use this card, tuck it under here.
Yep.
And before I forget, I'm going to take my Fury from it.
There you go.
And it's a red card, so it's the first card of a combo. That's 2 actions.
Yep.
For my next action, I'm going to...
you're going to prepare a combo?
I'm actually going to prepare a combo with this other red card.
So when you do that, you still get the Fury.
And I get that Fury. Mm-hmm. And those are all 3 of my basic actions. However, if you remember, one of the free actions you can take is to fire off a combo if you have it prepared. And now that I have 2 red gems under here, I can fire off my piercing arrows. It's an attack +1, so nice. I get to roll 4 dice. And I may re-roll any blanks or grapples. While this combo is charged, Pariah gains attack +1.
Oh, that would be nice to do beforehand. If you could.
Yeah, to do it first.
Yeah.
Yeah, because then you get the +1 for your maneuver as well.
But
so I'm going to. Should I go ahead and attack this guy to see if I can take him out?
Yes. Because
Because I can re-roll.
He's going to be bad. He has 5 attack.
And what's his?
4 defense. He's got.
Oh, because he has that +1?
Yeah, you can do it. I have faith in you. You've got a reroll.
Do you have any boosts?
No.
Oh. All right, here we go.
You just need 4. All right.
That's not good.
Use your reroll first.
Well, I get to reroll these for free.
Right, but don't... Oh, sure, but that's...
Oh, I see what you're saying.
You might end up with more blanks. I don't know. Because you need to hit...
I think I will.
Oh, you can reroll all 3, though, can't you? You can
no, I'm going to reroll all of these
with
my token.
What if...
Whoa!
Oh! That was a reroll. Okay.
So I went from 1 to 1 to... Oh, wait a minute.
2, 4, 6,
Wait
8.
a minute.
That's not the guy that ignores the 2s. No.
Thankfully, it's not the guy who ignores the 2s. So that's 6, 7, And he has a defense of 4.
Yeah, he's
so
gone.
he's gone.
And so this guy gives you a loot card when you defeat him.
Yeah, so I'm going to take a loot card here, and it is the Invigorating Brew. The hero may ready, or
reroll.
The hero gains, ready
so it's
to reroll.
basically like taking a focus action. You either get to roll the Fury die, or ready your...
And these are free actions. And the cool thing is, we don't have cubes in this prototype, but you're going to place a cube on top of the uses. This one is a one-time use, but there are other items in there, and you put 3 cubes on it, and then each time you use it, you get rid of one of the cubes. But I'm going to leave that there. In fact...
I mean, you might as well use it.
I think I'm just going to go ahead and use it, and
get your reroll. Yeah,
get my reroll back. So then it's discarded.
All right.
I mean, that felt like
that
a
was
success.
That was a good turn.
Like, we cleared out this area. Things look a lot better than they did a second ago.
Except now, all the ones are going to go. So the one specialist would go, but you killed him. So he doesn't get to go. But all of the trackers are going to go, and they're going to move 3 spaces. So 1, 2.
Oh, boy.
1, 2.
All of them are coming to me.
1, 2, 3.
Well, they move diagonally.
Well,
that's right. There's a rock there.
Yeah, there's a rock there. But they can all still make it.
Oh, no.
But they're 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you're not going to die no matter what happens.
Yeah, so it's just 5 attack.
I can boost your defense because I'm adjacent to you.
Please do, because I only have a defense of 2.
Do it.
Well, I'm glad I did my reroll, though.
Right? So that's 3.
I defended 3 of the 5.
Yeah,
I think I'm going to do that.
Yeah.
I'm taking the 2 damage. I'm down to 6.
That's fine. I'm at 4. So.
And then the level 3s would activate, but
there are none.
Not on the board yet.
However, we have to draw that spawn card.
Yeah.
So this card here is the one that they put on top. So we know it's going to probably be bad.
Yeah, the flare is definitely coming.
He is. He's coming out right here. Do you have his mini?
I do. This mini he's already mounted, and you can't tell this, but his arm here is a separate piece that came in its own little case. So I'm going to put him there.
Nice. All right, and then we're going to put 2.
Oh, man, he looks rough.
2 level 2. Yeah, he does look rough. And we're bringing out 2 of these guys, 2 of the slaughterers right below him, which is awful. 2 trackers right below that. And, another flare at the bottom. So we have 2 flares that come out.
Oh, my gosh. Yeah, so another flare comes in down here. We've got...
This is rough. This is as rough as I've seen.
So again, this is kind of... it's unlike most miniatures games where they just keep coming from one side.
I know.
Now, I'm going to hate when we find them spawning behind us.
They're good. There's some cards in there that will.
I know.
This one also has an effect as well. This effect is going to summon a Sylphay. So we have... We have some Sylphay, and it's going to it wants us to roll a die to figure out which of the ones come out. So we're going to bring out the middle one there, the Guardian.
All right. That is this one. Oh, yeah, it is the Guardian.
Yeah, so that's going to come out on the board in the Summoning Stone space.
Yep. Yeah, so this guy is going to go right here, and the Sylphay are kind of interesting. As long as it's out, it's going to give an effect to all of us, including the enemies and us. It's Aura 1. Heroes, minions, and specialists gain +1 defense.
Oh, well, that makes sense.
Now,
it's the Guardian.
If we can tame it and bring it to our side, that just benefits us.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay. Nice.
So I'm going to put this...
Well, let's do our best to do that on the next round.
All right, that's all the spawn
That is the end of the spawn phase. Oof,
that also had a chaos symbol on it, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, it did have a chaos symbol on it.
So this is going to flip this here, and then this is going to come back here. Then we're going to stop here and play the rest of the game, but what would immediately happen is we would go through our phase where we drop more cards, and then when we get to the initiative, all of those cards are going to get shuffled up and rearranged before we go into our next activation. And hopefully we can get through a ghastly sight. I don't know if... I mean, I thought...
I'm at 4 HP right now.
I thought it was a chance, but I don't even know if we're going to get to the yurts until another round or two.
We'll see what happens.
So we're going to search the yurts.
Place your bets is all I'm saying.
Place your bets. Think good thoughts.
Yeah.
And wish us luck. And we'll be right back in a second to tell you exactly how things worked out. We are back.
Give you a second to think about how we might have done.
If you can, I've said it before, if you can tell by the sound of my voice, we did not come away victorious, but we died.
We got close.
We got close.
We actually got closer than I thought we might.
We got through that second scenario, ghastly sight.
Yeah, well, we made it through that big throng of enemies, and we made it all the way to the yurt. We actually did make it to the yurts.
We did make it to the yurts, but things quickly happened after that.
Well, we lost Conrad on the way, which was rough for me. I didn't get to draw another red card, and I failed my roll, so I lost my mount, which dealt the damage to me. But I did manage to do my whirlwind.
Yeah, the Fury.
Which was very cool. This was my Fury attack. It exploded. It attacked everybody in my space and other spaces.
Yeah, your attacks do that.
Which is probably the only reason we even got through that throng.
Yeah.
But it didn't go well for Conrad.
An epic moment for sure.
So I've got Brit in front of me right now.
Yeah, and again, so our overall experience here is that we had some glorious situations where we were doing massive amounts of damage. You saw that even in our first quest.
Oh, yeah.
Where I was able to take out quite a few people in one of my turns. That happens a fair amount. On the flip side, you can get yourself into sticky situations.
Like this one right here?
Which you also saw. Some tricky things came out. So after the second one, when you
once we explored
researched those yurts, the Skinner came out.
Yeah.
And the Skinner wasn't necessarily a very difficult customer, but
it has 3 attack.
It has an ability where it can't be eliminated if it's in a
if
space with other combatants or other enemies. So it was a tricky thing to deal with. We were able to get the Fae on our side for what it's worth.
Yeah.
So we had that defense going for us a little bit. But yeah, Conrad had gone down, and then Pyra finally went down after the Skinner had come out.
Well, so because, it was tough because we thought, okay, if maybe we just get these exploration tokens, then it will just you don't know. So that's the thing. I don't know if we really stressed this. We did talk about it, but when you're completing an objective, you don't know what happens next. You just know your objective. And our objective was to investigate the yurts. Hopefully, it was like exit the map or scroll the map again.
And what we found was there was a woman who was about to die.
Yeah.
And she said with her last dying, gasping breath, vengeance.
Right. Kill
everybody. Basically, and that was basically the third quest, is the Skinner came out, and what we had to do is eliminate everyone. As you can see, everyone eliminated us. So I died the second time, which is what triggered the end game.
Yeah, so technically Brit was still alive, and Brit is a very defensive hero. She's the tank. So we could have maybe survived a couple more rounds, but in a 2-player game, 2 deaths is game over.
Yeah, it was a fun experience. I mean, even though we lost, this is one of those things where there's a lot of those moments where it's like, oh.
Yeah, you do some cool stuff.
You feel powerful, and like we said right at the top, very much like one of those old beat-em-up arcade games, because you might pull something off. I mean, like your Hurricane. It's just like, if your character's spinning around, just destroying everyone in the path.
I never got to use Brid's. She has like a crazy charge move that lets her charge in and stun everyone that she hits on her way, but I never got to use it.
Yeah, I had never even used Pyras. I wasn't really doing a lot of Fury. I was just sort of doing attacks. I didn't do a lot of the techniques. That was probably my downfall overall. And I probably should have healed up a little better than I did.
Yeah, well, the dice are not in my favor whenever I try to heal. I healed like 1 actual health that entire time, game. So
the concept of these combos is pretty cool because, and you don't want to just not read, you want to read these thoroughly before you play and go, okay, because this first combo, in some circumstances, it was a better situation than, say, the second. It's not necessarily this one's better than the last one and the third one is the best. And you'll notice there's 3 spaces down here. And neither of our characters happen to have, at least now. Conrad had one that was a 3 combo. That takes some coordination to get all 3 of those out there.
It really does.
And I will say those 3 ones are a little juicier than the 2 ones. But that was our experience playing ANASTYR. Very much I mean, for a miniatures game like this, very fast-paced, very arcadey feel. And I'm not just saying that because of the relationship to those old arcade games, but it has that sort of like get in, get out, have some crazy, violent fun.
Right.
and then hopefully move on to the next scenario. But for us, we'd be trying this one again, I think.
Hopefully.
Anyway, that is Anistir. If you have any questions at all, please make them in the comments below. We'll try to answer what we can. Until next time, make sure everyone has fun at the table, and we'll see you then. Congratulations, you got to the end of one of our videos. Now, if you want more practice, just click on the video over here. It's another video. You might not have seen it yet, so click on it. If you don't want to do that, at least click on the subscription button below. That always helps us. And if you want notifications, please ring that bell.